Have you ever wondered how some elderly people seem to have more energy than all of us combined? Today, we're going to unveil the mystery behind that enviable vitality that allows them to enjoy life to the fullest, even at 70 or 80 years old. And no, it's not magic, it's habits. Get ready, because in this video, we'll discover the 11 things that 99% of elderly people can't do, but you might be able to achieve if you start now. The last one will surprise you. Before we begin, if you find value in these videos, please subscribe and click the bell to stay updated. Let's get started. Imagine being able to spot a scam from miles away, like having a superpower. First, let's talk about why this is so important. In a world where scams are everywhere, having a sharp mind is like having a protective shield. Imagine someone trying to sell you the Brooklyn Bridge. With a sharp mind, not only would you avoid the trap, but you'd probably end up selling the bridge to the scammer. But how can you achieve this? Well, it's not magic, even if it seems like it sometimes. It's about staying alert, curious, and always learning. Neuroscientist David Eagleman suggests that learning new skills like a language or a musical instrument can help keep the brain young and agile. Now, let's talk about people's tricks. Did you know that many unscrupulous companies use psychological tactics to deceive elderly people? They offer free gifts, emotional care, and regular meetings, all to gain your trust and sell you useless products. It's like being invited to a party just so they can try to sell you a vacuum cleaner. But with a sharp mind, you'll see through these tricks as if they were made of glass. You'll be able to distinguish between a genuine offer and a scam faster than you can say, "No thanks, I already have enough vacuum cleaners." Psychologist Robert Cialdini, in his book Influence, talks about persuasion principles that scammers often use. For example, the principle of reciprocity. If someone gives you something, you feel the need to return the favor. Scammers know this and exploit it. But with a sharp mind, you can recognize these tactics and say thanks, but no thanks, without feeling guilty. Keeping a sharp mind also means staying up to date with technology. I know what you're thinking. I have to learn how to use TikTok at my age? Don't worry. You don't have to become a social media star, but understanding how new technologies work can help you detect online scams. Remember, the key is to stay curious and never stop learning. Read books, solve puzzles, debate with friends. Your brain is like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it becomes. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to reach 80 with the vitality of a 30-year-old? Get ready, because today we'll reveal the best-kept secret of the world's healthiest grandparents. Imagine playing soccer with your grandchildren without running out of breath, or cooking a delicious family meal without your hands trembling. Sounds like a distant dream? It's not as far-fetched as you think. The key is keeping your body in good shape. And no, we're not talking about having steel muscles or following impossible diets. It's about smart and consistent care. Did you know that the famous actor Christopher Plummer kept acting until he was 91? Or that the incredible Tao Porchon Lynch taught yoga until she was 101? Let's build a community of kindness by subscribing to Stoicism for Success right now and sharing it with those you wish to see live with kindness and strength like us. Let's spread these positive values together. These aren't isolated cases, friends. They're examples of what's possible when you treat your body like a temple. But what does being in good shape at 70 or 80 really mean? It's not about running marathons or lifting heavy weights. The real victory is in the small things. Being able to dress yourself, cook your own meals, or even help your kids with household chores. Imagine your grandchildren's surprised faces when you beat them in a race or teach them how to dance salsa. "Grandpa, you're amazing," they'll say, and with a sly smile you'll reply, "I've got a secret." Imagine this. You're 80 years old and your grandchildren ask what you did today. Instead of saying, "I watched soap operas," you tell them about your latest painting class or chess game. Sounds impossible? It's not. The secret is hobbies, my friends. And we're not talking about just any hobbies. We mean activities that keep your mind sharp, like a chef's knife. Painting, for example, not only stimulates creativity but also helps express your emotions. Who needs therapy when you have a canvas and some brushes, right? Singing is another fantastic hobby. Did you know that singing is good for your lungs and releases endorphins? It's like a natural antidepressant but without side effects, unless you count your neighbor's curious looks when you sing in the shower. Imagine your life as a Wi-Fi network. The more connections you have, the stronger your signal. And trust me, at 70 or 80 years old, you'll want the best coverage possible. Studies have shown that having good social relationships can be as beneficial to your health as quitting smoking. Some experts even say that loneliness is as harmful as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. So what can you do to strengthen your social connections? You don't need to become the life of the party overnight. Small gestures can make a big difference. Call a friend you haven't seen in a while, join a book club, or simply greet your neighbor when you see them. Every interaction counts. And remember, it's not about the number of Facebook friends you have. It's about the quality of your real-life relationships. A good face-to-face conversation is worth more than 1,000 social media likes. Imagine this. You are in your 70s or 80s, and you can live comfortably without depending on your children or the government to cover your basic expenses. You can even afford some luxuries without feeling like you are stealing from your grandchildren's future. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you need to swim in a pool of gold coins like Scrooge McDuck. But true financial stability means living without constantly worrying about money. Legendary investor Warren Buffett once said, "Do not save what is left after spending. Instead, spend what is left after saving." While Buffett has more money than hairs on his head, his advice applies to all of us. The key is to start early. If you are in your 30s or 40s and watching this, congratulations. You have an advantage. Start saving now, even if it's just a little. Over time, compound interest can work its magic, and you'll thank yourself later. Have you ever thought that gratitude is just saying thank you when someone passes you the salt at dinner? Think again. Gratitude is much more than that. Practicing gratitude can make you happier, healthier, and even more attractive. Although the last one isn't scientifically proven, it certainly doesn't hurt to try. Start by writing down 3 things you're grateful for every night. These could be big or small. My family loves me, or I didn't step on gum today. Bonus points if you use a glittery pen while writing them down. Gratitude works like a mental workout. The more you practice, the easier it becomes. At first, it might feel forced, but over time, you'll start seeing positive changes in your outlook on life. As the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love." Let's come together to support our community. If you are a kind person, please hit the like button on this video and leave some energetic comments to spread positive vibes. Together, we can make a difference. Your brain is like a muscle. If you don't exercise it, it becomes weak and flabby. But if you keep it active, you might even outsmart people much younger than you. And no, this is not an exaggeration. Recent studies have shown that learning new things can delay cognitive decline and even help prevent diseases like Alzheimer's. But what does lifelong learning really mean? No, you don't have to enroll in college at 80 years old, although if you want to, go ahead. Lifelong learning is more about staying curious and engaged with the world around you. Knowledge accumulates like compound interest. So if you want to be rich in wisdom, you know what to do. But learning doesn't always have to be so serious. Why not learn how to use those apps your grandchildren are always talking about? You could surprise them by sending a meme or a GIF in your next message. Imagine the look on their faces. Or better yet, why not learn something completely new? Maybe you've always wanted to play the guitar, but never had the time. Well, guess what? Now you do. Remember, your brain doesn't have an expiration date. As author George Eliot once said, "It's never too late to be what you might have been." And I would add, It's never too late to learn what you've always wanted to know. Lifelong learning isn't just a skill, it's a superpower. It keeps you young, connected to the world, and reminds you that life is full of exciting possibilities, no matter your age. People who maintain an open mind tend to be happier and healthier in their old age. It's as if they've found the fountain of youth in their minds. But how can this be achieved? Well, it's not as complicated as it seems. Imagine that your mind is like a house. Many elderly people tend to shut all the doors and windows, trapping themselves in old ideas and beliefs. But you can choose to keep everything open, allowing fresh air and new perspectives to flow in. The Roman philosopher Seneca once said, "While I live, I learn." And the best part, keeping an open mind doesn't just benefit you, it benefits everyone around you. Imagine being the grandparent who always has something interesting to say, who listens to their grandchildren's crazy new ideas without judgment, but with genuine curiosity. You'd be the star of every family gathering. So if you want to be part of that 1% of elderly people who keep an open mind, start now. Cultivate curiosity and stay open to new experiences. Have you ever tried reasoning with an angry teenager? If so, you know that sometimes it feels easier to teach a cat to dance flamenco. But what if I told you there's a way to communicate peacefully with your adult children, even when you're 70 or 80 years old? Yes, you heard me right. Today, we'll dive into the art of peaceful communication, a skill that only 1% of elderly people truly master. Imagine being able to have a conversation with your adult child without it turning into a shouting match or ending with a door slam. There's a story about a wise old man whose son refused to speak to him. Instead of forcing communication, the father planted a tree in front of his house. Every day, he cared for the tree without saying a word. Over time, the son's curiosity got the best of him, and one day, he asked about the tree. That simple question opened the door to a new chapter in their relationship. The moral is clear. Sometimes, the best communication happens without words. Giving space, showing patience, and offering unconditional love can open doors you thought were closed forever. The next time you want to have a meaningful conversation with your child, invite them to dinner. Remember, the way to the heart and to good communication is often through the stomach. But don't confuse peaceful communication with being a doormat. You can maintain your boundaries and express your opinions respectfully. The key is to do it without judging or attacking. Use phrases like "I feel" instead of "you always." For example, instead of saying, "You always ignore me," try, "I feel a bit lonely sometimes when we don't talk." And one last piece of advice, please don't try to use youth slang. No one wants to hear Grandpa say, "Okay, boomer." Imagine being a superhero. But instead of flying or having super strength, your power is making the world a better place. That power is generosity. And here's the best part. We all have this superpower. We just need to activate it. Generosity isn't just about money. It's about giving your time, your attention, and your kindness to others. Studies have shown that spending money on others makes us happier than spending it on ourselves. It's as if our brains have a happiness button that gets activated every time we're generous. The Buddha once said, "If you knew what I know about the power of giving, you wouldn't let a single meal pass without sharing something." And perhaps that's why Buddhist monks always seem so happy. Or maybe it's because they don't have to worry about phone bills. So how can you start practicing generosity today? You don't have to be Bill Gates to make a difference. Offer to help a neighbor, volunteer in your community, or simply be there for a friend in need. Have you ever wondered what makes some people shine, even in their golden years? The answer is living with purpose. And no, I'm not talking about waking up every morning thinking about which flavor of jelly to try next. I'm talking about getting up with a reason, a purpose that excites you. Your purpose doesn't have to be grand. You don't need to win a Nobel Prize or become the next Einstein. Your purpose could be as simple as being the best grandparent, growing the most beautiful garden, or perfecting your grandmother's cookie recipe. Studies show that people with a strong sense of purpose have better heart health, lower risk of dementia, and even sleep better. It's like a magic pill, but without side effects. Remember, it's never too late to find your purpose. Even at 80, you can decide that your mission is to try every ice cream flavor ever invented. Thank you for watching this video. Let's support our wonderful community by hitting subscribe and turning on notifications right now. Show everyone that you're living kindly by liking the video and sharing your experiences in the comments. Take action now to spread positive energy.